Nah, man, I'm excited to have you, Celie, because every time we sit down with you, bro, it makes it seem like we are using you, but you come over here, you bring us real energy, bro.
You know, I try to. You know what I'm saying? We always have good conversations, and I'm ready to have another good one. Let's talk about it.
Absolutely. I think the reason why I asked you to, be one of the first ones, because we've obviously been on hiatus. People have noticing too. They're like, man, you haven't posted in 3 months, da da da. But it's one, it was needed. Two, I think it's good to like reopen it up with you because it's just like realness. Like this is what we're about, right? So I know one thing that we've always been talking about has been ego is the enemy, and
Yes, sir.
I think that's such a heavy concept, and I don't think people like are educated on it enough. But it sounds like you know a thing or two about it. How did you even like come across the book?
I think I was reading Charlemagne's book, if I'm not mistaken. Charlemagne the God, just
Yeah.
doing my homework on media and things of that nature in his journey. And I think he mentioned it in the book that I read some years ago. And I just my spirit told me to go pick it up, and it was a book that changed my life. So that's how I get a lot of my book recommendations through other books. They'll mention other books that they learned that gave them certain game, and I got it from there. And then I've been sharing it for years now. I've been sharing that book probably 5, 6, 7 years now, just recommending people tune into it.
Yeah, and I think just so people know a little bit of the background why we're talking about is the author, right? Because every time I read a book, just like you, it has to be somebody who recommended it. Has to be somebody I respect, and I gotta understand that they know what they're talking about. So Ryan Holiday, he's actually someone who's super successful in his early years.
Yes, sir, definitely.
So yeah, someone who actually seen too much success, which kind of brought him to the whole idea of ego is the enemy. And this is what I like, because a lot of these people that come on here, they start off from like the very get-go and like, you go over your story, but it's like, now let's talk about while you're in it, while you're in the success. Like, because a lot of people kind of drop off from there. Okay, once I get successful, I'm good. But it's like, nah, like success comes with these issues. So one of them being the ego, right?
Absolutely.
But what has been like one of the biggest things that came out of the book that you were like, man, this completely changed my whole mind shift?
Remaining a student, and I say that lesson every time I do I have a conversation. Always remaining a student. In a book, he talks about when you're constantly learning, when you're constantly asking questions, it keeps your ego in check, but it also keeps you informative, learning new information, and that's what always keeps your ego humble. Another lesson that stood out, a great lesson, is talk, talk, talk. I think is the name of the chapter, and he talks about, if you talk about something long enough, you'll feel like you're actually accomplishing something. But in reality, you're not accomplishing nothing. You're just talking about it. And we have that bad within our culture and community where we're just talking about something, talking, thinking we accomplished something. But no, you actually have to go do the work. You actually have to go build relationships. You actually need resources to accomplish things, not just talk about them over and over and over again. So those 2 chapters really was game changers for me. And It's what separates you from everybody else, remaining a student and actually doing work.
Facts. And I think in the culture that we live in today, it's just like the reason why this is so important is because people, what I'm starting to realize is because you're so like success is so held onto you, and like your image is that your ego starts getting in the way. And like you said, you start talking about things that aren't really there. You start making things up in your own mind, and you start putting yourself on a pedestal that's not even there. And then you just act behind that, but that's already like a bad foundation.
Absolutely. Definitely a terrible foundation. It's good to, again, I can't stress this enough, remaining a student, because you can learn something from people who've been through certain things that you've been through, but you can also learn to know what not to do by just paying attention and asking questions. Furthermore, after you learn, now it's time to apply the information you learn. You can't just keep talking about what you learned and asking questions. After you get done doing that, now it's time to do the work. Now it's time to apply. It's time to idea, invest, collect. You know what I'm saying? The idea, the investment part is the work part. And now after you do the work, you collect the royalties from the work you've done.
Right. Yeah, and it's not until you get there that you can actually do that. You know what I'm saying? Because like I was saying earlier, it's like we are so destined to be great, or at least in our own eyes, or we have to be, so we can have that Lambo that that guy posted on Instagram 2 weeks ago, or chasing whatever we're chasing, that you start becoming blind. But I think just to like circulate everything together, I think you kind of do need ego to be able to have success, but you need to know how to manage it, and you need to know about it to even like
Absolutely
work with it.
Absolutely, I agree. I totally agree with that. You definitely need to have ego to a certain degree, but it's about everything is good in moderation. You know, everything is good in moderation. Even if you drink too much water, it'll be bad for you. Everything is good in moderation. So it's on you as a grown adult to know when and to when not, turn it on and off. When and when not to, you know, be egotistical, have your confidence, your extreme confidence, and when to pull back and be that student. Good game. That was some great game.
No, that makes sense. It really does. And that's the thing is I love it because this is somebody who's doing it right now, and you're part of building something massive, not only in the Bay Area, but you guys are going nationally. I see you guys going into different states already.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's just like a whole movement that's being created, you know? Let's talk about a little about the Thizzler. I know we've spoken about like how it came up and your role there and stuff, but you guys are doing something a little different, I feel like, right now. I haven't followed you guys too much, like longevity-wise, but what I've been seeing these past couple months, you guys are really promoting certain artists.
What I'm learning is in any business, this ain't even just about Thizzler. At some point, you have to start building out. You have to start building out, and it is a difficult process. It's not an easy process because you can be a king at home. That's great, but at some point, in order for your business to maintain and in order for you to affect more lives, you have to build out. How do you do that? You have to start meeting new people, going new places, trying new things outside of your comfort zone. You know, and that is what Thizzler is doing. That's what I'm doing in my personal brand, and that's what all successful brands do. What you don't want to do with any business is just get too comfortable, acting like, you know, what you have now is going to last forever, because not only in the music industry, but in every industry, it's ever evolving. Things are always evolving, and if you don't evolve with them, then you are destined to crash. So if you're not evolving, whether it's in a relationship, whether it's in business, whether it's with just your health evolving, then you bound to crash out. You have to evolve, and that's what Thizzler's doing. That's what I'm doing. That's what all successful businesses do. It's uncomfortable. A lot of people don't understand it, but it's a necessity to grow and to sustain the test of time. You have to evolve and grow and expand.
Yeah. So what are you doing right now to like evolve within the Thizzler or your own brand?
One of the things we do is we do this thing called City to City. We do it every other week, and we highlight different cities, from the Denver, Colorados to the New Mexicos to the Arizonas to the San Diegos to the Portlands or we might just do a special show for Pacific Islanders, or you know, for just, you know, anybody, just different audiences we tap into that we don't normally tap into, to actually get into these places. And then another thing that just happened, we went to South by Southwest in Austin, Texas, you know, trying to tap in with Texas and really understand their culture and what they like and what they dislike, and just seeing, you know, the energy we get out there. So it's not an easy process. It's not an easy process because essentially you have to start all over. People don't know you. People don't understand you. They don't really have too much information about you. So you have to teach them all over again. You have to be a student all over again. You got to learn. You got to start from ground zero and build up brick by brick by brick. And I think that's super important for all young business owners to know, is it's okay to have to start all over and build back up. It's really okay. It's nothing wrong with that. It's actually necessary for you to learn, for you to grow and expand.
Facts. And that's the thing, you know, honestly, it might sound a little bit easier said than done, because when you're at the bottom, yeah, you could be like, yo, just, you know, you did it once, you could build it up again, but it's like, nah, you don't realize, like, once you are there, you're there for a reason, and you're like, you cannot come out the same, because it's like you're realizing so much in that moment when you are taking that break.
Yeah.
It's kind of like awareness. Like, for example, like, you know, now that we're like on that topic, me personally, I've been on a hiatus, and it's like right now I'm very focused on conscious awareness. Like, but it allowed me, like, I'm like, damn, why didn't I learn this a year ago? But then it's like, nah, like, you have to be at your lowest low to be able to appreciate everything, and even appreciate a book that you have, appreciate like the information that's accessible to you, so you can actually use it and then come out bigger and better.
I think, especially with your generation, being that you so young, I think you all try to accomplish so much right now. Like, I'm gonna just be honest. You are so ambitious. I know you've had enough conversations with you to know you are so ambitious, you want to get everything done right now.
Today.
Exactly. So much so you will wear yourself out. You will beat yourself out unknowingly to the point where your body and your mind will say, I can't take it no more. I can't take the overthinking no more. I can't take the excessive work, the not sleeping, the trying to balance my relationship, my work, my podcast, my this, my that, trying to balance everything. And your body will just say, relax. So I think it's important to just sometimes reset and recognize I don't have to be a jack of all trades. Let me see what's most important to me and let me focus on that. If I want to focus more on my podcast right now and not a relationship, that's okay. If I want to focus more on work and my health and not a relationship or a podcast, that's okay. Just biting down, focusing on one or two things and mastering that rather than try to be a jack of all trades and a master of none. You know, so I think that's super important. And I get it because I've been there before where you just want to do everything because you know your potential, you know your mind, you know what you're capable of, but it don't have to get all done today.
So so based off what you just said, so what do you tell yourself through that process to like, because I think at the end of the day, it's like anxiety that gets caused through all that, right? Mm-hmm. And anxiety is being scared of the unknown, right? And as an entrepreneur, you're like, man, I don't understand my next move. So it's like, I'm kind of on edge a little bit, right? So what are you doing in that moment while you're saying, yo, I see it 5 miles away, but I got to still be right now? Like, what are you telling yourself? What are you doing?
That's the best time for self-reflection and asking yourself, what do I want? What's most important to me? And what can I maintain and manage right now? Meaning, if this relationship is not something I want to focus on right now, I may have to end that relationship no matter how bad it hurts because I want to focus on building me. I can't focus on you right now. I don't want to go on a million dates. I don't want to always be checking in. I don't want you always worried about me or worried about you. I want to focus on this. If I want to focus on building me, I'm just going to do that. So essentially, you're just self-reflecting, asking yourself, what's important to me? What do I want right now? And focusing on that. That's what you got to tell yourself. And that's okay. And be okay with making the adult decision because as an adult, you have to make the tough decisions. The ones that hurt, the ones that nobody's going to understand. But for the long term, it's what's best for you. So that's what you're telling yourself. What is most important to me? What do I want to accomplish most? Is family more important right now? Is work more important right now? Is my own personal career more important right now? Is my health right now? That's what it is. Like right now in my life, my health is my number one. I don't care about no relationship. I don't even care about making a whole bunch of money outside of my money I need to sustain. My health is my number one thing I'm on right now. Like I'm not where I want to be, but I'm working towards that. I don't care about anything else because I'm not the best multitasker. As I self-reflect, I had to know that. I'm not good at multitasking because I stress out because I want to be a perfectionist with everything and it stresses myself out. So right now, my health is everything. I'm in the gym sometimes twice a day. I'm trying to watch what I eat. Sometimes I still eat bad. I'm probably going to eat bad after I leave here. But essentially what I'm saying is my health is number one. I don't care about anything else except getting my health right. And then when I get to a place where I'm happy with my health, then I can probably focus on a relationship. I can focus on creating another stream of income. I can focus on this, that, and the third. But right now, health is number one for me. And that is my number one. Everything else comes secondary to my health.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
No, yeah, it makes sense.
And, I got to take what comes with that. I got to take everything that comes with that. But I made that decision because I know me.
Yeah.
It happens.
For sure. And I think society would tell you, like, otherwise, like, no, silly, you have to be, how old are you?
You know I don't answer those questions on camera. Come on now.
Let's say you're older. I mean, obviously you're older than me. So you for sure over 25, 30 years old. But let's say society will tell you, man, by 25, 27, you got to have that girl. You got to have those kids. You got to have that house. You got to have, all this shit. But you're saying it's like, nah, bro, like you got to really tap in with yourself and know you. And I think that is very true because at the end of the day, like, even though we're all humans, we're all amazing, we're all built out of the same things, we're kind of not really the same because we all have so much traumatic moments we've been through that it's slowly been shaping us up. So like everyone's kind of individual in their own way. So it's like as much as we have a million podcasts, but you're never really going to have anyone who's been 100% like you, but you can listen to people who've been through shit like C. Lee, like everyone else and be like, yo, you know what? How can I implement this into my life and make it work for me?
Two things. One, that nigga Knuckles just cracked crazy. The cameraman, I don't know if y'all heard that. I hope he keep that on. His knuckles cracked crazy. Like he ain't cracked this shit since Tupac died. Damn, that was nuts.
Hey, bro, he in the
That was crazy.
Guinness World Records, bro.
But my second thing, though, and that goes back to the ego, because you said society says, that's when it's okay to have ego and your stubbornness and say, you know what, fuck what everybody else talking about, fuck what everybody else expect, fuck what everybody else doing. This is what I'm doing. I'm on my own personal mission, my own journey. I'm gonna make my own decisions my own way. I'm not worried about what everybody else is doing. Like I've been through that too, where all my friends was getting married, buying homes, getting career jobs. But I knew me. I'm not no career job, typical cubicle type of dude. I've always been charismatic. I've always had, in a certain energy about myself and entertaining and funny. And I didn't know, but I knew that was going to pay me at some point. So if I was to go get a job, I'd be miserable. If I was to go settle down and have kids already, I'd be miserable because I wouldn't be where I'm at today, being able to impact the people I do today and do what I do. I wouldn't be sitting here if I would have made those choices. Because I was, I had to be stubborn and arrogant to a certain degree. Like, hell nah, I know this is what everybody doing. I know this is what society wants. I'm not doing that though. Fuck that.
Yeah.
So it's important to be like different. It's okay to be an outcast. It's okay to say, nah, I'm on my own path. Fuck what everybody else doing. That's what I'm on.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to understand it until it starts to show and prove and be successful. And that's how I go.
Exactly that. It's like until then, but it's like in that, in that moment you got to hold off. Because let me ask you this. Did you start losing people in that process?
Of course. I'll even be super transparent. I had a group of friends. We was cool. Like we used to talk every single day, like 10, 15 years. We was great. We still got love for each other today. But these are all career working men. These are all guys who got families, careers, wives, own homes. And, we had to naturally separate because I was going in a different way. I was always on my entrepreneur hype. I was always charismatic, funny, and I could never understand that lifestyle. So when you're getting older and they have a different lifestyle, it's going to naturally just go apart. And in doing so, I started to meet people who were more going the way I was going. And which led me to this. I met Remedy, who's in a wheelchair, was already in the entertainment industry, introduced me to the entertainment industry, which brought me to Thizzler, which brings me to where I am now. Even though, it's more to that story, but it's long story short, met new friends introduced me to new things introduced me to a new life. My old friends couldn't do that because they had no knowledge about this life. They had career lives, they had families and homes and all that. And I was on a different path, and it worked out for everybody. It really did work out for everybody. We're just going on our own path, and it's still love. So separation don't always mean it's beef or it's funk or it's fuck you. No, separation is mean you going this way, I'm going this way. I still love you, but we going in different ways. It's time for me to, branch off and build new relationships if I want to grow, So that's just it's like that.
Yeah, and it kind of goes with your saying that you love to say, right? It gets greater later.
It gets greater later. It gets greater later. What's to come is better than what you're going through now. You know what I'm saying? So you got to just be patient and enjoy your process and not want everything right now. It's going to make sense in time.
Yeah, facts. So right now, what foundation are you taking into like your own brand? Because obviously, you've and that just to kind of all tie it all back together. Like Ryan Holiday, that's what he did. He worked for big companies and became like head of marketing, and eventually like branched off and did his own shit. What do you think like Thizzler has done for you thus far? I mean, how long have you been with them?
Since 2019.
Okay, so that's like what, 3-4 years?
Yeah.
So are you ready to like, or what is your biggest step right now? How much are you like contributing with Thizzler? How much you want to build your own brand?
Man, it's funny you said that because I got like 6 shows to do with Thizzler this week. So we're expanding the content. So we're doing that. But first, what I've learned from Thizzler is a valuable lesson that's been on my spirit all week. Keep working. When people slander you, keep working. When people talk bad about you, keep working. When people cuss you out, keep working. When people try to destroy your business, keep working. And if you keep working, you can never be stopped. No matter how bad people talk about you, if you keep working, you stay focused, you will always come out on top, no matter what they say. So that's one thing I learned from Thizzler. And another thing as far as business goes that I learned from Thizzler is I want to kind of build my own team now. So that's what I want to. I want to build my own team, but for what I want to do. And what I want to do is I want my foundation to be philanthropy work. Yes, I still going to do what I want to do, but that's where my heart is at, helping people. Like right now, I'm working on my prom project where we take kids to prom and we pay for everything. We pay for their ticket, haircut, dress. makeup, nails, everything. So I want to do that more. I do it a lot now. If you follow me, you know, but I want to do that more. And I want that to be the foundation, servicing the youth. So that's kind of what my foundation I wanted to be. And I want to build a team where we can build around that, where we're doing events, where we're going to different places, in Northern California, and just constantly helping kids. We getting grants and, we doing things like that, and we just helping people. That's what I want to do personally. But, we'll see. We got to pray on it because in this thing called life, what you want, it always take a million twists and turns in the journey. You will learn this and learn that, or you come across this resource on this path and you end up somewhere different. I never knew where I was going to be where I was at today. I just knew who I was.
Damn. I like that. Yeah. Nah, I mean, whew, that was good. I didn't know where I was going, but I knew who I was.
Oh, definitely. I knew who I was. I knew my potential. And
I just think that's so important because it's like you said, at the same time, like, yeah, you can meet opportunities, but you could also get drifted from like an easy opportunity or like other opportunities that it's not really aligned with your main goal, but it might seem right in the moment.
Absolutely. Just I've learned, man, because you're needed in certain spaces. You might be, your talent, your energy, your charisma, your intellect, your experience might be needed in different spaces. So you'll learn that on your journey to one space. You'll learn, shit, I'm needed here, I'm needed here, I'm needed here. And that might be more fulfilling to what you thought you wanted. It might be a lot more fulfilling and than what you wanted. So because you're gonna learn new things on that path. That's why you have to enjoy the journey. And it goes back to you shouldn't want everything now, because on that path, everything you learning, it might be something that might be even more intriguing and more important, impactful on the journey than what you thought you wanted. So
yeah, thanks.
I use cars for an example. I used to always want a Benz or a foreign car until I got one. Hella problems, hella expensive, always in the shop, constant headache. I got my Honda, no problems, beautiful car, never in the shop, super reliable, good on gas, saving me a ton of money, maintaining my peace. I thought I wanted the foreign until I got it, but the Honda makes me happier. I'm going with the Honda.
Thanks. You can take that same exact concept, switch car with a female, bro, and it'll work.
Speaking of, since we're here now.
Even Alex knew you were gonna bring it up.
Speaking of, since we're here now.
Damn, bro.
When we first started doing these podcasts, you were in a relationship.
I was. Yeah.
You were happy. You had a dog.
I'm still happy. I still got a dog.
There was a dog.
Right.
And now, as we do these podcasts, you are no longer in a relationship.
Yeah, man.
What happened?
I think growth happened. I think, and I think that's what makes me so curious about what I do. I think I try to apply real life situations and be like, okay, I can't be the only one going through this shit. So when I look behind that actual like circumstance, to be like, okay, this is where it went wrong. Learn about it, educate yourself, teach someone else about it, and then that's how I right my wrongs.
That was such a bullshit answer. Oh, that was such a bullshit answer. And he thought he was going to bullshit a bullshitter. Are you serious?
Right.
Do you know I do this professionally?
What do you want from me, Sully?
How long were y'all together? Let's start there.
We were together for like a year and a half, 2 years. I'm telling you, bro, it has
Damn,
to.
So y'all was together 2 years. At what point did y'all move in with each other? How long?
It's funny. We moved in quick. Like, it's funny that that was supposed to be like the one. The one.
Nah, nigga, you're gonna answer this question. At what point did y'all move in with each other?
All right, I was probably like 4 or 5 months in. Yeah.
Mistake number one. That was a huge fucking mistake. Why would you move in with somebody 4 or 5 months into a relationship?
That's a great question. It had to do with like my personal family life, but it had also to do with like my pride and ego and like wanting to really take care of this person.
Now, let me ask you this. When you move in with somebody, do you see a different side of them?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now, and I'm not even trying to get in your business no more.
No.
Would you advise somebody to move in with somebody after 4 or 5 months?
Nah.
Why not?
I just think you don't know enough about a person. You really don't even know enough about yourself, because it's right. Like me, I had everything catered to me, right? Like I'm Mexican in the Hispanic culture, Alex can probably agree with you. It's like you're taken care of as a man, like from your, you know, at least like food wise, like all these other things, right? And I'm not saying that, you know, that was my biggest problem, because I like to clean out, you know, maybe not cook, but I like to clean.
Okay.
But it's more so of like a dependency and not really knowing who you are. I would advise you to maybe use those 4 or 5 months to move on your own. You can still move out, but maybe not with somebody who you really want to like connect with, because like I said, you don't even know yourself. So it's
bro, I seen this on the internet. I didn't know it was true, but you just confirmed it. They said Mexican mothers spoil their sons.
Oh, bro, that is one of the main problems why machismo is even created, because it's like you get so catered to that you expect every woman in your life. Because I was just telling Alex, we were sleeping in here. I told him, I said, bro, when I was 4 years old, not the grandma I live with right now, because I don't want you to go beat her up or nothing, but my other grandma, she I was 4 years old and I was sweeping, and she told me, she said, yo, what are you doing? Like, that's for girls. My mom she looked at her, she was like, what? Like, what are you doing? You're teaching my kid that, you know, this is, but it just goes to show how machismo really runs in Mexican culture, and that's why a lot of us are fucked up.
Damn, I didn't know that. You know what I'm saying? So you just gave me some game. So do you think you expected certain things out of a relationship that weren't practical in today's time?
Not necessarily like the cooking part, because at the end of the day, it's like, man, I'll go split a Big Mac with you if we really down to it.
Okay.
But I think it was more so of like an emotional dependence.
Gotcha. That's real.
Yeah, I think it's more so of like, okay, like this is going wrong, so now I'm gonna depend on you, but not realizing like that's not the right person to do it with, because that's not, at the end of the day, like your partner isn't your therapist. It is not your mom. She's not your brother. She's not nothing of that. You know,
that's real.
So
that's super real. That makes sense. Yeah, see, I ain't gonna get too deep.
Too much.
I ain't
Yeah.
gonna
I think
deep,
I think it's useful, and that's what I'm saying, bro. It's like it's been a minute. Like it's one of those things where it's like, man, I'm grateful I went through it. At least now, like I'm able to really like build off of it. So
that's one of the sacrifices I made too in life. I had to sacrifice relationships, because once I tried a couple of relationships and I recognized how much time and energy, just like a business, a relationship takes time and maintenance. You ain't gonna have a successful relationship without investing in this woman, without taking this woman out, without really communicating with this woman consistently. It can't just be a here and now thing. Now, some people are gonna be like, oh, you gotta find somebody that's compatible with you. That's nonsense. Relationships take time. Relationships take effort. Relationships take energy. I wasn't willing to give that to a relationship. One, I was broke. For two, I had other things I needed to accomplish with my businesses and finding myself. For three, I was broke. Meaning I don't have the time, effort, and energy to give to you, because I have no safety net. Nobody's going to save me. Nobody is coming to help me. I'm living on my own, been on my own for a long time. I have to figure myself out before I can try to be of service to you. So I had to sacrifice relationships until I got to a place of comfort where it's like, okay, now I can probably entertain a relationship now. Now I'm at a place, but that takes some time. Finding yourself take time. Generating enough money takes time. Generating the time and a mental and emotional space takes time. So I think a lot of young people, man, if you career driven, if you motivated, you might want to hold off on the relationships until things make sense, and that's okay. And to all the people, if you really value family and a relationship over a career, prioritize that. That's cool. It's nothing wrong with that, but just know who you are, and that's going to take some self-reflection. You know, true story. Because everybody want the relationship and the kids, but bro, everybody I know with children, I don't have any, say, look, wait on this. This is expensive. It's time consuming. They cry. They need doctor's appointments, dentists, all of that. And you can't be in another state for a month or two when you got this baby home. You can't be, working all night, working on ideas, doing interviews or do whatever you're doing when there's a woman at home with this kid that needs you and been with this kid all day and needs some relief. So you have to think about these things before you make certain decisions.
Thanks.
Control that lust. You know what I'm saying? Never be governed by your lust, because that lustful spirit will lead you to a very deep, dark path and that you can't come back from. That lust is going to get you every time. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, I agree, because and that's what Ryan Holiday was talking about, was like, as success goes, you're also going to reach new levels. So there's also going to be new temptations, new lustful temptations.
Yeah, new levels, new devils all the time. The problems never stop. That's what you learn as an adult. The problems never stop. It's just how you deal with them. Yeah, definitely.
and honestly, man, I have a younger brother. That fool is 12 years old. That's my birth control right there, man. These kids are a lot, bro, for real. Like, especially in the day we're living in, when, like, and you look at it. I look at it more as a systemic level. Like I always tell them, like, man, this is not your fault. You're accountable. Like you have to do the right things, but it's really not your fault. And I tell him that to be able to understand himself, because I tell him, like, I know the school you go to, like, it's not the best, and see, that's the thing. Like a lot of the places that we send our kids to, where they spend the majority of the day, we don't even have a choice where they can go. It's whatever school is, closest to your house, and you might not live in the best neighborhood. So now the kid is around, even if you're doing your best at home with that kid, he's still going to be around other kids who don't really have that. So it's going to be that crabs in the bucket mentality subconsciously.
Speaking of kids, I've learned just in my teachings, or in my learnings, actually, in my studies, that it is important to teach emotional intelligence to a child real young. It's very important to teach accountability to a child real young, and responsibility to a child real young, especially in today's time. The emotional intelligence is important because one emotional outbreak can send you to a grave or a penitentiary very early. You can get in trouble going off on the wrong person, not controlling your mouth, ruining relationships. It's not going to work. Also, accountability. When you do wrong, taking account for what you did, taking responsibility for what you did, because when you go into the real world, you are going to be held accountable. Everything ain't going to be like you at home. When you get into a relationship, this woman is going to hold you accountable. If you go out there and commit a crime, these police and this judge is going to hold you accountable. If you go out here and you just disrespect your coworkers, or you say something that rub your coworkers the wrong way, this job is going to hold you accountable. So therefore, these need to be taught within a home very early, or you are destined to crash out. And responsibility. Make sure your bills is paid. Make sure your responsibilities are taken care of before you go have fun. These things are necessary for today, because when you go into the real world, if you're not prepared with this, the real world is going to kick you in your ass. No matter what social media is telling you, no matter what you're dealing with in the home, when you get into the real world, you're going to have to be responsible. You're going to have to be accountable, and you're going to have some emotional intelligence. You don't have those, it's 100% fact you are going to fail. Guaranteed.
Yeah, and it's one of those revolving cycles where it's like you're going to learn you're going to keep doing it until you learn.
Exactly.
And you're going to learn.
Exactly. And the sooner you learn it, the better off you're going to be.
Yeah, that's true. And that's my whole point. It's like, man, these kids, they're obviously the future. And I think, I was even going to ask you, like, why do you think it's important? Because, to play devil's advocate, I would tell you, instead of, sending these kids to prom, why don't you buy them a book? Or why don't you, buy them better food? Like, why is prom important to someone?
That's a good question. And I learned this when I had a prom thing. So let me give you a backstory. One of my friends is named Jeremy Posey. He got shot. He's not a gangster, nothing. Got shot in West Oakland and got paralyzed. And he needed money to be released from the hospital. They had to get him a wheelchair accessible apartment. He had to, before they can release him, you have to have a wheelchair accessible apartment, because your life changed. You can't walk no more. He's paralyzed. So he needed money to be able to get his apartment. So I threw him a prom winter ball like party to raise money to get his apartment. Once I did that, so many adults was like, I didn't get to go to prom. I missed my high school experience. So many adults was DMing me like, I didn't get to experience this. So the reason why I take prom serious is because you only get your youth once. So yeah, you should get the youth a book and reading, but you only get this high school moment once, and you remember it for the rest of your life. There's people 50, 60 years old that still remember high school, because your youth it molds the rest of your life. So the reason why I take this prom thing so serious is because this is a once in a lifetime thing for the youth that they're going to remember for the rest of their life. That's why I even make videos saying, go to prom, enjoy your youth, because after your youth comes adulthood. And adulthood and youth is completely different. You don't get that back. And adulthood does not stop. It is 100%, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all the time. So why you do have your youth? Let these kids enjoy their youth. Like, yeah, you still need to learn and be responsible, emotional intelligence, and accountable, but you still need to enjoy your youth. We don't want these kids acting 25 at 15. Nah, let these kids enjoy their youth, because let them have fun, have a life, and let adulthood come when it comes.
Yeah, and I personally like that, because like you said, man, like a lot of people don't go to prom. Later on, they regret it for the fact that in the moment they didn't see the value of it. But I think it is very valuable. Because it's like we're all kids, and no matter how old we are kids in the way that we're curious, right? Like, I have a whole bookshelf behind me because I'm just so curious. You have the job that you have because you're so curious. Like, everything is sparked off curiosity. So I think we all have like that childness in us, is just being able to understand it and just channel it the right way.
I need you to cut that clip and send it ASAP. Actually, that was a good clip. That was kind of good. I said.
There's a lot of good clips in here, man.
That's a good one. I need that one soon so I can post
good.
that.
It's good. We're gonna send you an invoice and then sort it out.
That's good.
Nah, man, but I really like this whole conversation because I did peep, see you peep my bookshelf, and that's one of my most prized possessions, I guess you could say. But
I don't see one on infidelity.
This man over here.
Did you cheat? Give real. Did you cheat?
No, I didn't cheat, bro. I swear to God. It's funny. I cheated in my past, not this past relationship, but the one before that, and I told myself I was never gonna do it again. And
so who ended, her or you?
My actions, her word.
Oh, she said, "Fuck you. You don't give a fuck about me."
Yeah, she said, "Get the fuck." No, I'm just kidding. Nah, bro. I think.
Do you still keep tabs on her?
Nah.
So if you found out she was fucking another dude, would you cry?
Absolutely not, bro.
Yeah,
this guy trying to get me to cry right now.
That nigga lying. He's gonna cry. You
Absolutely not, bro. Nah, dude. I'm way like I'm telling you, dude. The way I be looking at this shit is only one man's fault, bro. I'd much rather look at that like this is my fault. This was nobody else's fault. This is my fault, bro. That's real. So yeah, like if it was somebody else's fault, I would be actually more concerned. But nah, at the end of the day, bro, like I understand, and maybe there's always one side to it, my side, or at least right now. But I know what I did, and I know like okay, if I do this, that's and that. I pray to God that when He does give me that next relationship, it's not gonna.
Do you think your ambition hurts your relationship?
Absolutely. It's ruined my whole life, really. In the sense of like where my ambition personally comes from is from a deep insecurity, because growing up, unless I did something good, I would not get the love and attention that a human deserves.
We posting that. That was great. That was fucking great. We got it. That was great. So can you say that one more time? Where does your ambition come from?
My ambition comes from a deep insecurity. So it comes from when I was younger, I would not receive the love and care and support that I needed as a human being unless I produced something, whether I scored a goal in soccer, I cleaned my room, I did that favor. That's the only time. And I think a lot of people are conditioned that way, and it's not only just me, where it's like it's a fear-based parenting where it's like if you don't do it, then it's going to happen, and now you're just like constantly on edge, and you're constantly on eggshells, and you're constantly in anxiety, so it starts popping up later.
Damn, I'm the same way. I didn't even recognize I'm the same way until you just said that. I am. That's why I'm so goal obsessed. That's why my work ethic is crazy. It comes from an insecure place. Like if I'm a bum, nobody's going to care about me. Nobody's going to love me, and I'm just going to be, threw at the wayside. Here's the fucked up part. We're right. You know what I'm saying? We're right. If we, as men, if we don't accomplish things, if we don't produce, provide, and prepare, we are nobody. Our emotional health doesn't really matter. Our mental health don't really matter to most people. It's about what we can produce. Our feelings don't really matter, and how we feel about things don't necessarily matter to people. It's just what we can produce. So how do we, that was great.
Yeah, bro.
It's that just hit me in the chest, bro. Damn, we got that was great.
And that's the thing. Dude, I'm telling you, like I talk to people about this shit, and the person I was talking to about it, I was like, well, I'm kind of scared to go, because they're like, dude, because there's times, bro, where maybe not right now because we're in the moment, but like there's times where you ask me about my childhood, and I'm just chilling, bro, and I'm just like, I can't even talk about it. Like I just start choking up, and that's because like there's a certain part of you that like is still feeling that. And that's the thing. I had that conversation. I said, well, if I go back and talk to that 8-year-old me and tell him like, yo, no, you are good enough. Like no matter what happens, like, is that going to take away from my ambition? So it's also kind of scary to go back and fix it, because it's made me who I am thus far. Yes, it's came with me losing a bunch of relationships, me fucking up a ton, me putting myself through so much, but it's allowed me to get this far.
Damn, you got me reflecting now. That was great. That was great. That transparency was great, because I think that's why I'm so hell-bent on doing things for the youth, because I want them to get the support that I never got. I want you to feel like somebody cares about you, not just your family, because that's one thing, but I want to feel like somebody actually supports you and cares about you and want to see you happy and want to see you great and want to see you have a good time, and just, because I do a lot for the youth, but I guess it comes from a place of insecurity and hurt.
Yeah.
Damn, that was great. That was really good, bro. That was great.
Right on. Yeah. I mean, it's, and that's what I'm saying, bro. I think I've definitely taken that time to tap into that shit, tap into videos, tap into certain resources and be like, yo, you know what? I gotta know who the fuck I am, because like no matter what I step into, whether that's another business endeavor, whether that's another relationship, whether that's whatever it is, like I gotta know who I am. I gotta know how I maneuver, and I gotta know how I was raised. Like, and sometimes it's like our trauma doesn't allow us to even think about our childhood because it's just so traumatic. But you gotta really understand yourself to be able to like work backwards and just like, you know, fix that shit up.
We gotta put this out. This is pretty. We gotta cut these out.
Nah, it is getting.
This is really good.
It's getting pretty vulnerable
really good,
for sure.
Bro. This is really good. Sometimes when you sit alone, do you cry thinking about your past? Do you ever sit and hurt and think alone, like, you know, or your relationship with your pops and things like that? Does it ever bother you?
That's a good question. I mean, there was a long time where I couldn't cry. Like I would talk to close friends and be like, bro, like on the low, like, do you cry like on your own? And you're like, yeah, I cry on my own, like sometimes, not too much, you know, but but I think it's just like me, it's been like, it's just something I've been avoiding for so long that like when I do start to think about certain moments or just like certain ages, it just, I can't even put it into words sometimes. I just kind of do tear up, but it's just like, it comes from that same like, you know, that trauma. But, and it's weird because like adult Samuel got you, like he has the younger version of me, but that younger version is always going to be with you. So you got to take care of that younger version too.
That's real.
And I know I may be talking a lot about myself right now, but whoever's listening to this, like I know because of the color that we are, because of where we're from because where we live, because of our culture, because of our background, I am not the only one that goes through this shit.
Facts.
And I am like, my whole life purpose and why I'm like rebooted to do this shit is because I'm starting to realize how fucked up I was. And I might be still as fucked up, but realizing like, yo, somebody has to fucking do something about it. And no one is. No one's talking about it. There's no awareness. And as much as people might say they are, a lot of people who are going into these neighborhoods and trying to help them out don't even look like them. They're all white. They're all old, 40, 50 years old. They're all millionaires. But who the fuck can they relate to that is actually talking about what they actually went through? Like,
that's real.
So I think that's why it's important for you to do these prom things, because like, yes, you might get introduced by the prom and by, you know, and as a kid, you only take, which is cool. You know, that's how you kind of get yourself in there. But then you realize like, nah, like maybe I can change this kid's life. Maybe I can be there for him, you know.
Another thing, like, I think it's important. Another reason why I do so much philanthropy work is because I like to plant a seed. You have to plant a seed in a child, meaning if they see somebody cares about them and willing to look out for them, when they get in position, they're going to want to do the same thing too. So if you plant a philanthropic seed in a kid, like, damn, somebody helped me when I was going to prom. Somebody gave me a backpack, or somebody did this for me, or this, that, and the third. When I get in position, I want to do the same thing. So it starts a domino effect of planting seeds one after the other, and now we are all taking care of ourselves and not you waiting for somebody else to come and save us, waiting on a superhero. You know what I'm saying? And we just start. It's just a revolving door of just everybody helping one another and passing it down. So I think it's important to plant seeds. My thoughts.
Facts, and I think there's really like there's no limit on how you can do it or how many you can do. Because this is a huge seed right here. Like I said, let's say we post that clip that you're talking about, 1,000 people see it, 2,000, 10,000, whatever. That's somebody who was sitting on their screen in their car, thinking about their mama, watch this and be like, hold on, maybe I'm not the only one. Maybe I should get that help. Maybe I should read that. You know, it just opens up so much like doors.
Absolutely, I agree.
Yeah, and man, I know we've been getting real vulnerable, but I definitely want to touch on the Thizzler because, like I said, I want to see that the business aspect of it is really interesting to me right now because you guys are getting real innovative with your content for one, and that's the thing. I see the comments and people are like, man, like, what do you guys even post anymore? Do you guys, you guys don't even post music anymore? But they don't realize and understand the bigger picture. So can you help us understand the bigger picture?
Well, again, the music industry has evolved. The fans, no matter what the comments say, but the fans and masses want to see more than just music. They want to see a lifestyle. They want to see what you think about certain topics. They want to see what you're doing outside or inside of the studio, outside of just the creation of music. They want more in-depth look at the artist they like. Therefore, as a platform, you have to see that and make those adjustments. They want to see what kind of clothes you got on. Oh, you got the new Amiris. They want to see your chain. They want to see, do you smoke fucking Phillies? Do you smoke the ganja wraps, or do you smoke Swishers? They want to know intimate details about you. They want to get in your business. You got to understand people are online more than they are on TV. People are on Instagram more than they watch TV, cable TV. Yeah. Therefore, in doing so, you can't just beat them over the head song after song after song after song. You're going to have to be more transparent and vulnerable. Vulnerability is the thing now. They want to know who you're dating. They want to know, what type of foods you eat. They want to know. And you have to provide that for these people. If you don't evolve and you keep living in the past, you are going to fail. And the commenters don't always know that because they are speaking from a place of ignorance. They're not speaking from a place of research and understanding of what's going on, And speaking of the comments, not even knowing when you hating, you actually helping because you're driving the content up in the algorithm when you comment and you hate.
Thanks.
Again,
so whatever you
evolving,
comment, thank you.
You know what I'm saying? People got to understand. If you don't understand evolving, you are probably never going to be successful in life. Everybody has to evolve. I have to evolve. You have to evolve. Everybody has to evolve. If you don't, then hey, good luck.
Yeah, you better catch up. And if one example is AI right now, like AI is for the past month, it's been a huge topic. I heard Elon Musk wants to stop certain companies and because it just goes to show we're evolving.
Bro, I just posted something where a nigga made a Jay-Z song and it wasn't Jay-Z. He literally made a Jay-Z song and it's fire, but it's him rapping using Jay-Z's voice, using AI, and it sounds just like Jay-Z to the point it's scary. He can put out a whole album and we'll think it's Jay-Z and it's not Jay-Z. It's crazy.
But I guess it goes with the concept of man, you gotta just
evolve. You gotta evolve. You know what I'm saying? Because the people using AI is gonna probably get things done quicker. It's gonna be, it's going to be more efficient. It's gonna be more relatable because the AI shit is different. That shit different. That's another level.
Yeah, it's scary. But so does the Thizzler have their own label?
Yeah, they sign artists too. They sign artists. I don't have nothing to do with that part of the business, but yeah, they definitely sign artists and they distribute them. And they got some of the biggest acts on their shit. They got, I think they got EBK, J-Bo, Jock. Yeah, they got DB by the Bag on there. They had Young Slowby, rest in peace. Who else they got on there? They got Kai Bands on there. They got a lot of big acts. They got 1100 and Mitch. A lot of their acts are actually doing really, really well. A lot of people, one thing I don't believe in is even if you don't like a company, because I don't own Thizzler, I partner with Thizzler just for clarity. But even if you don't like a company, you should never lie on them. So people will be lying this. The fuck Thizzler, they ain't shit. But the reality of it is Thizzler got artists like DB by the Bag, and DB by the Bag is one of the biggest artists in Northern California. Young Slowby was one of the biggest artists in Northern California. Young Jock is one of the biggest artists in Northern California, all under the Thizzler distribution umbrella. So it's you may not like them, but that don't get you don't get to lie on them and make it seem like they ain't shit or fuck them, they're not needed. Okay. I mean, hey, if you feel that way, cool, but your feelings don't make something true. And I have no dog in this fight because I don't get $1 off who they distribute. That ain't my business, and I really don't even give a fuck. But the reality of it is they've made some good choices and they've distributed and they developed some great talent. And you can't take that away from nobody's business. You don't get to lie on somebody because you don't like them. You niggas got that bad. Stop lying on people because you don't like them. Still tell the truth. You shouldn't even lie on your enemy because the lie says more about you than it says about them. As a man or as an adult, you should always have your integrity. You should always have morals. You should always have standard. And that standard shouldn't even let you lie on somebody you absolutely hate. Because once you lie, you're going to have to continue lying. And then it's going to expose you. My thoughts.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Now they do have a solid lineup. If you really think about it. And that's the thing, RP and Slowby, but he was really going global with it. I think their crew, they have obviously what it takes still, maybe, because they started a whole different sound out of California, I
forgot they got Backdoor, they got Verdi, they got Rich. Yeah, they got some people that's really putting up So that's making a big impact. They for sure got that.
Right. And then, so the Thizzler, would you say is like their main priority right now is to keep adding to that roster?
Oh, of course. That's why we do the live shows. They want to find who else is dope and add them on. Who else is dope and add them on. They constantly working. Like I said earlier, that's how you win. It's constantly working. When everybody is saying fuck you, keep working. When everybody is slandering you, keep working. When everybody got a negative opinion or got something to say, keep working. And if you keep working, you are always going to win. So again, if you really want to stop somebody, guess what you have to do? Work just as hard. You have to outwork them. If you're not going to outwork them, your words mean nothing. That's why Ryan Holiday said, talk, talk, talk. You talking so much, you think you accomplishing something. No, if you want to genuinely affect somebody, you have to outwork them. If you're not going to do that, you're actually helping them by just talking about them.
Yeah. What do they say? Bad publicity is better than no publicity.
Yeah, when they stop talking about you, that's a problem.
That's a problem.
That's a problem. And I learned that personally. You know what I'm saying? I learned that personally. When they stop talking about you, now you have a problem.
Yeah, that's real. Damn. Sheesh. All right, so the Thizzler, man. Hold on. I had other notes about the Thizzler. Yeah, D Bada Bag. He just performed at a SAC game or at a Kings game.
He made a song for the Kings. He has the official Sacramento Kings song.
Mind you,
this is Sacramento Kings' first time going to the playoffs in years. You know what I'm saying? But DB Bada Bag deserves that because outside of just a musician and an artist, DB Bada Bag is actually a genuine human being. So it's easy for people to like him. It's for people to gravitate towards him and want to give him opportunities because he's a genuine human being. So you're going to see more and more opportunities, like even bigger, come for DB Bada Bag because he's a genuine human being. He's not disrespectful. He's not overly emotional. He's not trying to harm anybody. He wants to make his music, get his money, handle his business, and mind his business and help his friends. And that's what he does, and that's why he continues to win. Shout out to his manager, Russell North, who's a great manager, great teammate. You know, Russell North helps a lot too. So DB Bada Bag gets it. Team, good attitude, hard work, consistency, and he shows that, and he keeps winning.
Yeah, and he came through your guys' pipeline from like
definitely. He was on. He used to be on like the Fuck With Me Friday. I was told, 'cause I wasn't there then. I was there when he was coming through. I wasn't there. I didn't know everything, but I came like during it, like during the early stages of it, you know. But he was took advantage of this thing that Thizzler do every Friday. His reaction got bigger and bigger and bigger. Thizzler started to distribute them and promote them, and now he's huge. He's huge. He's huge.
Yeah, no, for sure. When your song is played at an NBA game, and
exactly. You know what I'm saying?
That's
exactly.
next level.
And you are still an independent artist because he's still an independent artist. That's huge. Yeah. You know, only signed artists get those opportunities. When you still an independent artist getting those opportunities, that says a lot about your character and your work ethic.
Yeah, thanks. And I think I seen a clip of him. He was kind of talking about it. But no, I agree with you. I think all these guys you mentioned, not only, do they have their own like sauce, but they work hard at putting it out there. And they, like you said, it's important to have a team because I'm sure once you have Thizzler and, you have all these guys that are working for your dream, it becomes more achievable. So I mean, you kind of talked about it a little bit right now with everything that D Bada Bag does, but just to, be clear code and people can have something to like look at and be like, all right, I want to be this artist that I want to be the next D Bada Bag. Like, what would you really tell them? Like, especially because they can really just hop on whenever they want, right? On Thursdays.
I would do what DB Bada Bag did. He took advantage of all the free resources necessary. So he had an audience or a small audience. He used that and took advantage of all the free resources, the Fuck With Me Fridays, the Instagram lives. He took advantage of everything that was accessible to him early on that was free. And once you prove that you can create motion and you getting this for free, everybody's going to want to go in business with you, where somebody that's smart is. And that's exactly what happened. They went in business with him and he got bigger. So essentially what I'm saying is just work hard. Work hard. Take advantage of every single free opportunity, every opportunity you get. And then if you prove and show that you can, get some motion and that people fuck with you, you're going to be good. It's really that simple. Take advantage of all the free shit.
Yeah.
That's my biggest advice. Take advantage of all the free shit because once you start having some success, ain't shit free no more. You know, it ain't shit free no more. So take advantage of all the free shit. The lives is free. The Fuck With Me Fridays is free. So take advantage of everything free.
Facts. Yeah, and that just cuts off all excuses, really, because, you know, a lot of people will tell you, oh, I don't have the capital to start up a business. Like, nah. You're teaching people to build this shit from nothing. And I think social media has allowed people to do that, right? Where it's like you take your own circumstance, you take your own situation, and try to turn it into a profit.
Absolutely. Gotta work.
Yes, sir. Anything on your spirit right now that you was driving down here and you were thinking about, other than that Future concert and how much fun you gonna have? It's crazy. He's not even taking us with him.
I'm good. We got like an hour in.
Yeah,
this
we
was
good.
We're good.
So, all right, bro. Well,
see you looking for the people.
Let's do it, man. I appreciate you, bro. We gonna have you back in a couple months.
Absolutely.
Come on, neighborhood heroes.